Mega Evolutions are returning. And there's a lot to talk about. Like, for instance, I don't think all the Mega Evolutions are coming back. And everyone, their mother's talking about Mega Charizard Z. Ain't that right, Infamous?
Yeah, that's true. I think Megas, they're for sure returning, as we know. In the trailer, they showed it off. Megas are great. Little overpowered.
Little bit. Asterisk. We got an asterisk there.
We do, right? While they're great, there's some Pokemon that do need love. But overall, I would say I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see them return. I'm excited to see what new designs they cook up. It's the time. We're back in Kalos once again. If they're gonna do Megas, this is the time to do it. Don't do it in Let's Go like you did before. All right, do it in this game.
Bro, isn't it crazy? Gen 8 is the only generation to not have Mega Evolution. Gen 7 had it with Sun and Moon and Let's Go and stuff. Gen 6 had it, obviously. Now Gen 9's having it. Gen 8 is just washed, dog. I'm telling you. Honestly,
I don't mind it. It was kind of nice because that competitive scene coming off of Mega after Mega after Mega, I guess it was a nice break for the competitive scene to like not have any Megas included. Because it was they were just going crazy. It was always the same like 10 Pokemon that were always being used. So there was a nice break.
Okay, no, you know what? You're right. Because like with it being gone in Gen 8, I think people missed it a lot more. And so like I think that's why people were hyped to see it in Legends of ZA or Zygarde or whatever. I think it's cool that Megas are coming back. I've always loved them, but competitively, man, these things suck. So I don't know. Yeah, it's so rough.
It's rough because everyone. Let's be honest. Everyone just uses Mega Lucario, Mega Blaziken, Kangaskhan, because parental bond, right? That thing is cracked. Those are the main ones I always saw. Was those?
Yeah. It's the same few. You'll never use Mega Ampharos. You'll never use Mega Houndour or Manectric or whatever.
Or Pidgeot or Beedrill. I barely saw people use those. Yeah. So it was always like those same like 5, 6 same like Mega Audino. Who remembers that Pokemon? Nobody. Yeah. No one remembers it. It's the only. I think if I'm correct, that's the only Gen 5 Pokemon to get a Mega.
And that's why I'm like, yo, are all of the Mega Evolutions even going to return to this game? Because think about it, right? It's like, am I gonna see a freaking Latios soar across the skies in this new Kalos or whatever, this new or old Kalos? Or am I gonna see an Audino in Lumio City when like I don't know when Chansey and stuff is there? Am I gonna see Beedrill? Like, come on.
I do think if they want maximum exposure, they do all the Mega Pokemon return, right? So when you're going down that list, of course, you have Venusaur, Charizard, Blastoise, all the Kanto starters. Yeah. You have Alakazam, which was in the previous Legends game, so it's not like this would be anything new. Its setting would just be different, right?
Right.
We haven't seen Mega Gengar in a long time. People want it back. People actually liked G-Max Gengar, but they love Mega Gengar. It has to come back. Pinsir, Heracross, Gyarados, I think it's kind of like
we've seen Pinsir, Heracross.
Yeah, we kind of, I think those are Gyarados confirmed. Right? But like Aerodactyl, of course, Mewtwo. Now, do we get both forms of Mewtwo X and Y? Charizard X and Y? I assume so.
We'll come back to that. Right, that's a different topic.
Okay. Right? And but you do have all those options, and I feel like they do come back. But I can see what you mean by like Latios. Do we need them? I feel like there might be an aspect of if this game does have like a past and future, there could be some wormholes involved. I feel like they'll do some kind of just like exponential end game thing where you could go and you could just encounter these Pokemon some way, somehow.
But dog, I don't think so, man. Because like even if you do have a past and future thing, I genuinely feel like they're gonna give us like half the Megas. Because let's look at the list of Megas, right, bro? If you have all the Megas, you need to have a story with Rayquaza. Like, how does that work?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like let's pull it up.
So I'm looking at the list right now, right? So I think you're all right. I think what you have to do, at least for the list that you have of the known Megas, take off all the legendary Pokemon. That's gonna be Latios, Rayquaza, Diancie. I don't know.
Diancie, I think Diancie's locked in. I think
Diancie is locked in, right? But I think all the other legendaries do need to come off. The rest of these Pokemon, I think are fine.
No. You're telling me if we get all the Megas, that means we have, it's a Legends Kalos game. So you have the Kalos starters. Now, the Kanto starters get Megas. So you have the Kanto starters. You have the Hoenn starters who get Megas. So you have the Hoenn starters, and you get a new set of starters. I don't know, Chief.
Yeah, I think so.
Know.
I think so because again, when's the last time you've seen these Hoenn starter megas being used? It's been a while, and people are gonna want them back, right? People love the Hoenn starters. They know that people love the Hoenn starters. I think if anything, the starters are the most locked in out of the group, out of all the megas, right? It is these kind of outer liars like, are people going to really care that much about Glalie, Camerupt, Sharpedo, Sableye? But what this does is it does add some pretty good diversity to the Pokédex for this game. Because obviously we know it's going to be Kalos. And Kalos has a pretty weak Pokédex. This Pokédex is small. So if you go ahead and give them just the Mega Pokemon that are involved here, that's going to give you an additional 20, 30 Pokemon to use just in the base game, even if you don't want to use them for Megas. So,
dude, let me tell you, right? Like, Legends Arceus, if I'm not mistaken, I'm looking at it right now, has a dex of 242 Pokemon.
Okay.
242. All right? I'm pretty sure that's all the Pokemon that you can get in that game. Kalos' dex is a lot bigger than that, I know, but I'm like, they're making a Legends game. And if it's like they're really trying to hone in and focus on building like, they've been trying to cut down on the dex so that they can work on gameplay aspects or whatever, right? And like Pokemon's really been talking about the dex cut, not bringing in too many Pokemon, etc., etc. Mm-hmm. I don't see them bringing in every mega, because if they bring in every mega, and if you have every mega Pokemon and their families as well as the Kalos dex, I think you're close to 200 Pokemon.
You're close.
You know
you might be close. You might be close because like. If I'm with what I just looked up, just to make sure I had my information right. So Gen 6 only introduced 72 new Pokemon, right? Which really is not a lot. That's really few actually. And when you look at this dex, most of this dex is kind of garbage. I gotta be honest. A lot of this dex sucks. So I honestly feel like the thing is, I do expect they could. It's tough, right? So I expect, of course, we'll have Mega Evolutions for the Kalos stars as we talked about. That's going to add an extra 3 Pokemon to this dex, of course. That's great. Again, maybe you're right. Maybe we don't need all of them, but they need to be smart and selective if they decide this route, because people are going to feel the type of way.
Bro, it's also going to be tough, because, okay, let's assume you have all these Megas. Let's assume they're all there. Okay. You have all these Megas. You have the Kalos dex. I think we're on the same page. I think everyone's on the same page. If they don't make any new megas, they fumble the bag. They have to make new megas of Pokemon.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's a whole new section of like Pokemon that they can do. And like, you have to remember, they pretty much never, like you said, they never touched Gen 5. They never touched Gen 6, 7, 8, 9 with Megas. So they have 5 new generations to touch. Bro, I can't see a world where we get new Megas and all the old Megas returning. I do not see it.
I feel like when you look at Gen 9, there's a couple Pokemon that could definitely use it. I mean, I think for sure, start with Gen 5. I think they should put, obviously, some nice care into Gen 5, with the Gen 5 remakes probably being on the horizon later in the future. I feel like Gen 5 needs that love because they got some of the least attention out of all the generations.
Bro, the monkeys? Yo, don't snap, bro. The monkeys,
I'd rather them not
you're
give
the
that
monkey king,
shit.
dog.
I don't give a. Those are the 3 monkeys I refuse to allow into my kingdom. Like, those monkeys are done, bro. Those monkeys are done. I'd rather not put the time into other Pokemon like Gen 5. Zebstrika's right there, dude. Come on now, Zebstrika's a beast.
What if the monkeys are heat in their megas? What if Semi-Poor opens his eyes?
Please, garbage. They really need to hone in on some of those bangers from Gen 5, right?
What are you thinking the dex count is going to be? I know this wasn't a prior topic, but like, I might as well, like, because like, for me, I'm like 400 is like a solid amount, but I'm like, yo, seeing Legends Arceus is 242, I'm like, I'm nervous, dog. Because, like, and you know, the whole game is in the city as well, right? Yeah. I'm like, what the hell can they really do? If Hoopa comes flying out of nowhere and drops portals everywhere and somehow brings in wild Pokemon, okay, sure.
That could be a thing. It is interesting because we don't know what these biomes could look like, because when we got the first Legends Arceus trailer, we could see there was grasslands and there was water. So you could kind of like, okay, cool. From the Sinnoh Pokédex, we know like we're going to get these Pokemon here. We're all in the city, and honestly, not all of these Pokemon work well in the city for Unova.
Yeah, man.
They don't. So with the Dex, I think if I had to throw a number out, like 300, I think is a comfortable spot in between like the 400 we got with Scarlet Violet, but not as low as the 250 we got with Legends Arceus. I think that worked for that feudal era. Now we're getting a little bit more in the future, or maybe it's like the same timeline. I don't know where this is placed in time, but it needs to be more Pokemon. Again, X and Y didn't have that many new Pokemon, so a lot of people's teams looked quite familiar, or they were the same exact teams through and through.
They just played the Ash Ketchum team, bro.
That a lot of people did.
If this is like a little bit in the past, I don't know if this is gonna make sense, but I can't imagine there being any regional forms. I feel like instead of regional forms or evolutions, they're just gonna do mega evolutions somehow.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I mean, Legends did it well because it was just based on the era, but I guess it depends on
but
how
Scarlet and Violet like kind of pulled back with like the regional forms.
It did,
you know what I'm saying?
And they did convergent forms instead.
Yeah.
Which I guess technically could work because again, now all the Pokemon are locked into the city. So maybe that's it. Maybe that's the twist. Because all these Pokemon are not in their desert areas and field lands, they now have to get used to these Lumio streets. All these Pokemon are used to the sewers, and they have to change how they act, right? Crocodile can't dig underground in the city, bro. What if the Crocodile line just literally turns into Killer Croc, becomes a water and dark type, and that's just what it is.
Unless it's in the past. Unless it's because people have been saying like, oh, during like the feudal era or whatever, France and Paris went through a whole different like change. So that might be it. But regardless of what, you're still in this city. So who knows, honestly. This is some weird stuff. But hey, somehow Zygarde's going to get into the city, so maybe a Crocodile can. But speaking of Zygarde, what's your thoughts on the freaking everyone talking about Mega Charizard Z? Because, hey man, Charizard and Mewtwo got X and Y forms. I don't know how the hell they're going to make that work now. I guess they just have two separate stones, whatever. I don't see a reason for a Z form, because the only two Pokemon that can benefit off of a Z form is Mewtwo and Charizard. But maybe, I'm thinking, do you think we're going to get like a different kind of Mega Evolution, like a Z form, that's exclusive to like certain Pokemon? Like maybe it's not even Mega Evolution, it's a Zygarde. I don't know, what do you think? Because everyone's talking about it.
So yeah, I've seen it, and I've seen a lot of people making artwork for it. Of course, Mega Charizard Z is like one of the most, continued artworks I've seen all week since the release of the trailer.
Those arts, shout out to the Marley art and Sergi for the one on the thumbnail here. Marley art made it and Sergi drew it on the thumbnail, but a lot of the art that I've seen from Mega Charizard Z, absolute flames. It's crazy.
It's great. Green flames, darker tones. I like it. It seems like the trend that a lot of people are going for is kind of what you were saying, like more of like Zygarde forms. It's almost more like Zygarde gave him like a cell, and then they kind of bonded with the Pokemon to give him this new form, right? I feel like it could be something of that route. I don't think necessarily a Mega Z form is the way to go, because at this point, like the Charizard pandering is too much. It gets something every generation. Obviously, it couldn't really get anything with Gen 9 with like Scarlet and Violet, because it doesn't. I'm surprised. Which honestly, I'm surprised. I was waiting for this thing to get like a super exclusive Terrestrial, crystal in its own crown and everything, but it didn't, surprisingly. But I feel like they could. I don't think we need the Charizard pandering here, right? It already has two really good forms, all right? Both are great for, depending on what playstyle you like, which form you like design-wise, it's great for that, right? But if you did want to do that, you need to make sure, as far as like a Z form or a Zygarde form, that you cater this to other Pokemon, including those that do not already have like any Mega forms. So like,
do you think that's likely? Because I don't think Mega Charizard Z and Mega Mewtwo Z is likely. Like I don't think. But do you think a Z? Let's I don't know how to explain this. Like it's Mega Evolution, but not Mega Evolution. It's like a totally different gimmick. Like how like primals are there for a Groudon and Groudon. I said Groudon, Kyogre and Groudon. Like that's a thing, right? But that's like exclusive for them. Do you think there's gonna be like something to do with Zygarde and like maybe the cells corrupt certain Pokemon or something? I don't know.
I mean, it's possible, because I remember seeing an image, and if I find it, I'll pass it to you so that way you can post it up. It was an image of someone showing like Xerneas and a Veltal coated in like
Xerneas I know what you're talking
cells.
about. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know if that. I think if that was, it would be just for story purposes, and it would go just to the legendaries, not necessarily like other wandering Pokemon that we could just catch. I don't think it fits that vibe. But I don't think any Z forms necessarily, like Mega Z forms, are going to be happening. I don't think they're needed. You already gave it 2. Mewtwo already has 2. Only way to balance that is to give everyone else a second form that doesn't have one, and that's just too much. That's wasted slots. So, no, I think as far as it goes, no Mega Z forms, no third forms for anyone else who already has 2. I mean, of course, that just being Charizard or Mewtwo.
Yeah.
And then as far as like a transformation or, I guess a power up through Zygarde, I think that'll be exclusively through the legendaries, because I feel like obviously like how we got something for Dialga and Palkia, it'll be the same for Xerneas and Yveltal. So I think it'll be the same thing like that, because they got these origin forms.
That makes sense. Yeah,
I could see something for them as well, where like either blooms Xerneas into more of like the tree that is based on, or whatever it does with Yveltal. I don't even know what it could do with that, but just something to enhance them. And if it wanted to give it Zygarde cells to cover its body and enhance its power, there's ways to do that as well.
Would it make sense for them to get Megas? I mean, Xerneas and Yveltal, and maybe Zygarde? I don't think so, right?
If they don't go based on like giving the Xerneas forms, I think that you need to give Xerneas and Yveltal Megas, bare minimum, because they need something to boost them up a little bit, just a little bit more. This man Zygarde has got multiple forms with a chance of getting more, and the 100% complete form is nuts. It's crazy powerful.
This guy is going to be, his complete form is 7, base stats 708. Still have a Mega on that guy? Bro, 808 or 908. He's probably going to go up to like a 900 or something at that point, dog. It would be, honestly. It
would be crazy. It would be too much. So I think, give Xerneas, give Yveltal Mega forms. That's probably the safest way to go. Especially with you bringing back Megas and building the hype off that, go that route. That makes the most sense. And then, because you're that's the gimmick this time around is these Mega forms. That's the gimmick. We don't have I don't think we're gonna have any Agile or Strong or any of that crap. It's gonna be just the focus on Megas, the origin, more of the origin on that power. We know about it, but just expressing it more. And of course, what Zygarde has to play into that with whatever else Zygarde has going on.
But regardless of whether we're seeing or not, I'm still gonna see. What if these Pokemon got Mega Z forms from you, right?
Oh yeah, we're cooking up all kind of fun things on my side. I can't wait to start doing my videos on, my idea of what the trio starters are gonna be. I see everyone's dropping that, so I can't wait. Get the Mega starters in there, the regional form starters in there.
The Kalos Mega starters, bro.
The Kalos Megas.
Delphox and Chestnut better go crazy. That's the only chance for redemption.
They have to. They have to. There's no choice because Greninja
Chestnut's
wins.
been getting slandered. Chestnut has been getting slandered in these streets, dog. Nobody likes Chestnut. I'm sorry for the few Chestnut fans out there. I know there's some of you guys out there.
Honestly, I would use Chestnut over Delphox, that's for sure. But I feel like they could use this to like remedy some of these Pokemon, right? Like, in my opinion, when you Mega Evolve Delphox, if you wanted to get crazy, make it our very first Fire and Fairy type. Right there. Why not? Dip into some of those untapped typings. You literally introduced the fairy typing in Gen 6. Why not
change
use
all their typings? All their typings. Make Greninja Water Ghost. Make Delphox Fire Fairy. Make Chestnut Grass Steel. You're cooking, bro.
Dude, it would just give so much more depth to these. Like, whoa, why are they getting different? Bro, cook it up. Game Freak, cook it up. Go crazy with these, bro. And then obviously, because we technically already have like a retconned Ash Greninja, so don't even stress that anymore, bro. Just cook up that Greninja form, but just make the other two a little bit more equal, because Greninja's been winning by a landslide for years. Literally a decade it's been winning. So like, give the other two a run for their money, man. Make sure they can actually run Greninja for its money. It's Poké dollars here.
Man, if they don't get forms, they fumble the bag, dog.
It's an L.
They fumbled. But I'm looking forward to seeing the video from you and that. And guys, check out Jalil's channel, InfamousTrainer's channel, to see how many Mega Evolution videos he's gonna make, dog.
Dude, who knows? I'm just gonna keep it going between that and shorts, bro. We're just gonna be cooking it up. It's that time of year. I had missed out on the original, because I wasn't doing any YouTube content at that time. Then obviously I was on a different channel, but I finally get to experience the Mega run. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be like the 2013, 2014 run, of course, but I get to experience it in a different time and get to put my own mix in there. Plus, there's so many more artists and people creating Mega forms and stuff like that. There's so many more ideas, 3D artists. It's going to go crazy. It's going to go crazy.
It's going to be hype. It's going to be hype, man. It's going to be hype. Thanks for joining me on the video, bro.
Yeah, of course, man. Super fun. Can't wait for this game to come out. Again, we had the best reaction. Just everyone should know that. We had the best reaction, dog. It was great. 5 guys getting hype over Pokemon. You can never beat that.
Bro, easily. We've gotten so many comments about it. You guys gotta go check it out.
Yeah, check it out, man. Please. Champion League podcast. We're doing big things, having fun. Can't wait to show you guys more.